Hello, hello.
Hello there.
What's going on?
You tell me what's today's topic? Because I've been waiting all week to hear it.
I mean, if you would check your Facebook on the pictures you're tagged in.
I'm sorry because I don't check Facebook that much.
What you doing, bro? We're talking about allowing others' lack of support to stop you
Uh-huh.
from chasing your dreams.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Allowing others' lack of support to stop you from chasing your dreams. And I know we
Okay.
talked about this before, like something around that before. Um, but in reality, your dreams could be anything, right? It could be your dream to lose weight, your dream to whatever you want to achieve in life, but
Hmm.
you allow somebody else to stop you or block you from pursuing it. Oh,
Yes. Well, I could talk about this all day because I tend to I often think about the that saying or quote, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you, how successful you are." I guess I forget the
yeah,
exact terminology or he was saying,
yeah.
but sometimes you really don't have a choice. You always have a choice, but it depends on say your workplace. You may love the job, but the people you're working with, you may love some of them, but some of them you don't. But you work with them,
Hmm.
but then you tend to listen to what they have to say too, because you want them to make them feel like they have a say as well, and you don't want to be disrespectful. I don't think so. You let them speak, but then the minute you continue to carry on the conversation, it ends up either one, you say, why in the world did I just, why did I just be quiet? Why am I still talking? Because what this person is saying is not in line with where I want to go. And not only that, it's because you and me, and this is not just a workplace, this is no matter where you're at, I think, if you have a conversation, you will meet people that try to give you advice and they've never been down that road. And then it says you can't do that because you know how hard it is. Because you ever thought about this? You ever thought about that? And I'm like, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I thought about that. But then you think of, you go back and say, well, what is? How much does he really know? He's not even doing that. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people that say that they really don't want you to go out there and succeed because you'll make them end up looking bad. Really not bad. You'll create a lot of jealousy, envy, or what have you, because now they're so concerned with, oh man, he's actually gonna climb this ladder faster than me, and I really don't want that. And that's what I find. I think if you really know who you are, you really have a passion for what you want to do. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Just go after it. And at some point, I think, and for me, I know now, is that you really have to block them out. And you don't even share your dreams with them or whatever it is you want to do with them if you know what kind of answer you're going to get. You remember that conference we attended, babe, in Baltimore,
Hmm.
that speaking conference? And the lady was talking about how she was going to be on TV. She had a TV show coming up. Do you remember what she said?
That her family, she didn't tell her family because they didn't support her.
Yes, because they didn't support her. And she said, be careful who you tell because they can ruin it all for you.
Hmm.
And think about it. And if you tell them, and if it doesn't happen, what do you often hear?
The first thing, like I told you, you shouldn't have did it.
Yeah, I
We don't.
told you.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. When it comes to me personally, right? Because I can only speak from my point of view. Before, I've never been a person to not, I guess, not care, right? But
Hmm.
sometimes it's like you have a conversation with somebody and they talk and tell you that they don't they're not convinced that your dreams is real. So
Yes.
I've always been that person where you tell me I can't do something. Oh, you best believe I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it bigger just because you said I couldn't do it.
Yes.
But I used to be that person that I wouldn't. I mean, now I know now that you can't tell everybody. You absolutely cannot tell everybody what you're doing because
That's right.
people always, there's that negative spirit that people have, and people don't. Not everybody believes it, but we are all here for a purpose, and a lot of people cannot be happy for others because of where they are themselves. It has absolutely nothing to do with what you're actually doing or who you are. It's with that person. So I mean, from the minute we met, I've always told you, like, I don't deal. If I feel like you got some negativity, anybody, you talk crazy, you look like you look about to say something crazy, I'm not gonna deal with you. I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
The me now, I definitely ain't got time for that crap. Like I absolutely do not. And it's not about, your favorite word, right? The holding the grudge thing. It's not about holding the grudge. It's about keeping my peace. Because the minute you entertain the negativity, the craziness, you always feel drained.
Mm-hmm.
So ask yourself, right? This is for everybody listening. Ask yourself, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and when you were done, you felt just like you needed to go to bed? Like for some, like you could have had all the energy in the world. The minute you got off the phone with them, even through the conversation, you just keep feeling like you're tired, or you start to like, not you start to fall asleep. Like you're like
Mm-hmm.
dozing off. You're like, they were like, oh, are you sleeping? Oh, it's Pat. I gotta get to bed. But it's that energy they have drained from you. And people don't understand, everybody will always push that off. It's like, oh yeah, I'm tired. I got up early today. Oh, I did something. But it's that conversation that you continuously have. Like somebody is always dragging you. If you do not get rid of that or learn how to just be in you and be in your space, you will always be torn down by their negativity, and you will realize that everything you set out to do, you never accomplished because you've allowed that side talk to stop you from going forward.
Yeah, and with that, I can't help but to think this, and I've been thinking it for a good while. We had this conversation based off of a conversation that I had with someone that's close to me, and that was sometimes we can set our kids up for failure because we 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 bring them up in this environment where it's about being successful and go out there and accomplish your goals. And it was kind of related to, well, isn't that kind of setting them up for success? So what if they fail? How are they going to react? But I was listening to Denzel Washington, and he said parents do that to their kids, your family members do that to you. What they do is they talk about how it was when they grew up, like I've done before, and
Mm-hmm.
we bring that on our kids.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talk to some of my friends who I consider, to be very successful, or not even just successful, they have college degrees, and I talk to them. I says, man, you have a college degree? Wow! Like, I, what inspired you to go that extra level, or what was he? And I'll never forget. He said, "What do you mean? It wasn't an option. It was never an option. It was like continue on with your high school, degree. It was like, now you go to college. It wasn't you have an option to go to college. It was what college are you going to?
Mm-hmm.
And if no one has ever put that way out into your mind, that's probably what you. If that's all you know, I have to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
Then how likely will you end up going to college? And I even think about our own kids. It's what we put in their minds to say, hey, this is what, not really expectation, but you guide them at an early age, and you say, hey, just like we've all heard growing up. I wouldn't say all, but anyway, we say, hey, baby, what do you want to be? I want to be a doctor. Oh, yeah, you can do it. And we had this conversation before. Now you get to what age? Middle school. You want to be a doctor. What?
Yeah. Well, so here's the deal. And the teaching your children, right?
Right.
Not everybody knows you can create your reality. You can create it. You can create anything you want. You want to go to college, you want to take yourself, you want to go where you want to go, you can. So for me, I dabbled in it, right? Like the creating, you like, oh, this is what I want. And you dabble too. But when
Yeah.
you get super intentional about what you want and you set those intentions and you know not anybody, anything, anywhere can stop you. But it's just that tidbit of, oh, what if I fail? Right? What if I fail? So what? Maybe you do fail. That failure does not mean that's not for you. Just the route you're going may not be the route you need to go.
Yeah.
Reevaluate what you're doing and figure it out. Do not quit. When you quit, that's when you truly fail. That is the fail of fails, if that's the thing, right? You fail when you quit and you don't pursue anything. And a lot of people, they expect things to be handed to them on a platter. Well, this is what I want to do. Okay, it doesn't happen yet, so it's not going to happen. What action did you take to get that thing? Right? You want to buy a car. You just gonna wait for the car to show up at your door? Is it gonna come? Is that gonna happen? The money just gonna magically appear? How are we doing this? We don't always have to know the exact way, but we do have to take action on what we want. And that's the problem. That's what we need to teach our kids today. Stop. So I am a big advocate on stop telling your children how you struggled. So what you struggled. I'm not taking away your struggles. I'm not. But your children are not living that struggle. So do not put that thought in their head because that is all they're going to, my daddy struggled, so it's okay to struggle. No, what the hell it ain't. Like you do not have to struggle because mama, daddy, and sister and brother struggled.
Right.
You can control how you react to things and everything will start to flow for you, right? So if you are always ready to give up because mama did it, stop. You do not have to be like your mother. You do not have to entertain. And this teaching your children, oh well, I had to walk 10 miles and I only had one pair of shoes. Whoop de damn do. Like, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter. You do not have to teach your children struggle. Teach them better. Like, baby, I didn't, you know what? You have an amazing life. And I tell Brianna, oh, you have an amazing life. You have all these daggone choices and you choose to do this. Girl, get your whole life. Get your life
It's,
together.
it,
Get it
it's
together.
it's even when just talk about our daughter how she says, well, we need that house across the street. You're like,
Hey, me too, boo. Me too.
well, yeah, but I'm like, are you? Uh, and, and and yes, my initial thought was, are you kidding me? Like, do you realize what you have now and what I came up in?
That
And
right
here I am, yeah, and I find myself doing that instead of saying, you know what, you're right, Bree, but if you work hard, if we really get after it, we talk about the things you want to do, we really get after it, put a lot of focus and energy in ourselves, then we can have that. We can have even more than that. And you said that what, yesterday? It's whatever you want, you can have. And sometimes we doubt ourselves. Not only that, I was even thinking, why do we tell people what we want, and are we telling them because we're doubting ourselves? Are we telling them to
You want their
kind of
support.
gain support?
You want their support. You want them to back you. And when they don't back you,
Yes.
you are automatically like, oh yeah, you're right. I can't do it. Or that is too far of a stretch. The further the stretch, the more Montia said confirmation and support. And the thing about that is, right, when we look for confirmation and support, first off, how are you supporting yourself, right? Because at this point, you have to believe it for you before anybody else can be on board with you. If you wishy-washy and you're like, maybe I can do it, maybe I can't, what what kind of support are you looking for? Support yourself. Like be proud of where you are and where you want
Yes.
to go and be okay with nobody supporting you, because it doesn't matter if they support you or not. It's about where you want to go with yourself. That's it.
So we always talk about how we should write everything down that we want, and you don't let anyone steer you from that.
There's a
Because
power in writing it down. Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
and I do that, and I read it every morning. And we often talk about this stuff. For one, when I, at least for me, when I write it down, I know it's my own thoughts. If I don't write it down, it's just an idea, and often you forget that idea unless you bring it up again. We have this conversation like, oh my goodness, I was thinking about doing the same thing, but you
Yeah,
forgot about it.
the same thing, right? Like, oh, you,
Now I'm trying to take credit. You're a little bit of your credit. Yo, baby, what you do? You've
mm,
been posting every day on Facebook and
you hear?
LinkedIn and
You hear
everything,
him?
and
Mm.
you started with one, and now you're at 3,000. And even YouTube, like, what did you tell Brianna? Which I love this because she's watching YouTube, her little videos on YouTube. She said, "Hey, we need to create more YouTubes on my YouTube channel, all that stuff." So yeah, you're right. And she wanted to buy a sweater. She wanted one of us to buy a sweater. From who? From some girl.
Some
On
random.
YouTube. Yeah, some random on YouTube. And what did you say?
Create your own. Which
Create
she
your
called
own.
it merch.
Yeah, merch. Yeah, I didn't know what merch was. What are you talking about?
Create your own. And for me, it takes us, right, as the
Yes.
parent. So here now, I'm going to vow to the world that I'm going to buy my baby some shirts, and we're going to create her merch. So y'all better support her. I'm just saying.
Oh, your daughter, our daughter.
You hear
Yeah.
this fool? I cannot. I absolutely cannot. Um, but yes, it is about going after what you want and supporting that, right? So as parents,
Mhm.
people say, "Oh, you're setting your child for failure." No, I am absolutely not. I want the best for me, so you best believe that my children are going to have the absolute best. What I'm gonna tell you is Christmas. I told my kids Santa might pass the house. Santa might bring one present because these fools they go to the store and just they can put. It's a life we chose to give them, right? Like it's all about the choices we make. And I'm big on my child does not need to know a struggle.
Yes.
And somebody else could disagree, and that is absolutely fine. But me and mine, this is how we gonna live. This is what we doing. It ain't about and that's the problem. Outside factors always playing inside your house is a big issue because you allow people's negative thoughts to get into your head, and now it's inside you. And now you're like, oh, maybe I can I? Like you say, can I do that? I absolutely can. Like I look, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it right now, but guys, you best believe write that down because I'm coming for you.
Yes.
And the other day I heard something just amazing. 90% of the people who write things down, 90%, if you write it down, it's bound to come true. So
And with that,
writing it, writing it. Don't just tell somebody, write it down. And be in the space that you already have it. That is the way to manifest what you want. And then we going on a different, into a different alley. You don't want to hear it, you can click off. But you need to create your reality and live in that reality. So be in your mind, you already got the car. You already driving it. When you washing your car, this is what I'm washing. The car that I want. But stop allowing somebody else to tell you you can't have something. Stop allowing where you are right now to pause everything for you and make it look like you can't have.
that's right. And people would try to like live your life with you. And no, that's not it. It's my life. If you're not here to support me, then please move off to the side. And it took me a long time because I always
Um,
try to see people. Oh, yeah,
um,
yes, it did take me long because I was like, well, they're a good person. I just have a feeling that they're a good person. But as they say, judge a tree by the fruit it bears. That's what
Listen,
it talks about. And there's so many people that talk about they bearing apples, and here they are bearing freaking acorns, and you're like, that's a big difference. Yeah, I know my analogies are far left and far right, but here it is. Most people, as we talk about the people that we support, people are always in like celebrities. They're always in their business. Always wondering like, well, why? Well, how did they make it? And this and that. Well, for one, and if you listen to them on any of their motivational speeches or any type of interviews, most of the ones that I listen to, they all write it down. They all write it down, and then they compare it. Steve Harvey talks about it a lot. Oprah Winfrey talks about it. Steve Jobs before he passed. I mean, all these people in what I
billion years.
yeah, billionaires, millionaires, they all write it down and they look at it. And I'm telling you, I know it works because I've done it.
You
Now,
dabbled. It's the dabbling. We all done
yeah,
it. We dabbled. Like, oh,
yes,
I really, really want that. I really, really want that. And then you get it, and then you forget that you created what you wanted.
that's
Stop
right.
dabbling and
That's right.
start being intentional. Create it.
I'm
Like
dabbling now. You
you,
know,
it's okay dabbling. It's okay, dabble, because
I'm dabbling now because this is if you want it bad enough, excuse me, you'll write it down. And I've told you this, and I don't mind sharing this story, and I'll be quick with this. When I wanted that BMW, people
yeah.
doubted me because no one in my family had a brand new BMW. No one in my city that I knew that was came from the same background that I did had a BMW. Now, I wanted it so bad, I printed it out. The
Mm-hmm,
same color,
mm-hmm.
exactly everything I want on inside, and I deployed to Kosovo in '99, and I put it on my
Took it
wall.
with you.
Every single day, I would look at it. I'm like, man, I can't wait to drive it. But here's the thing: people don't have patience.
Because
People
everything
don't have.
is
You have to have
That's the
patience.
thing. Everything is not in your time. It's in the
That's
divine
right.
time. It comes when it's the right time. So
That's right.
listen, you could be driving, like it's like that you drive into the road. This is where the stoplight is, right? You're driving. This what you want. This what you want. It's still here. It's you can't see me. Okay, you're still here. Which I didn't get it. So now I quit.
Yeah.
Still here.
See,
Still
I, I,
here.
I I didn't lose weight in 30 days like I thought I would. Man, this don't work.
It don't work. And
It
the
don't
funny
work.
thing
You
is,
know, I'm
people,
going back to McDonald's and eating my Big Mac.
when
You
I
know,
was
because
eating, I was happy. I was
yeah,
happy when I
I was happy.
was
But
la
then
la
you walk
la.
around because you mad at the world. But here's
Your
the thing.
outfit don't
I
fit now.
know.
You mad?
Yeah, yeah.
What you
And
mad
the
for?
thing is, when you are looking nice,
And
there's
around
so
that,
much more to it. It brings out everything. You just feel like you got this glow.
you were like,
That
look,
just
see,
yeah,
look, see me, see
girl,
me.
I see you, girl. You're gonna make me jump through this
But
screen.
what?
But anyway, let me get back on
That's
topic.
what it is.
Uh,
When people when they feel good about themselves, it's all like, look at me. Hey, you see
yeah,
my
and
outfit
nothing
today?
can stop you. No
No.
matter what you can say because you have confidence in yourself, knowing that you've done it.
Yep.
And then now everybody else looking at you. She thinks she all
You
that.
you know how she did it? I sure do think like, well, thank you for your
Look
thoughts, your
at
great
she's
thoughts for me.
she's
That's
over
the
there
problem.
throwing her hair back and stuff. You know,
People, they're everybody's not gonna be happy for you and your success. They're not. And at
they're
this
not.
point, that's not your problem. That's their problem. That is a problem that don't even concern you. And what people are saying about you don't concern you. How what people think about you don't concern you, because at this point, I am a big advocate on, you can, if somebody say this about me, is it true? No. Then why are you worried about it? If you don't think that about yourself, then what are you worried about? Let them
And,
talk.
and and with that, it's not like what we're saying. You have to be a what do you, not a bad person, but be like disrespectful or anything like that. No, it's just being confident and knowing who you are and going after what you want. Now I'm all right about helping others get there too. But if you're not trying to help yourself, if you just want a handy down or you want somebody to do the work for you,
Yep.
like No, it doesn't work like that. I think it. Oh, I'm starting to get fired up because it hurts to see it, and it hurts to even think about the past because I could have been so much. I could have so much more than what I have, but I'm thankful for what I have. But I've had some experiences and some times in my life where I've let some people into my life that held me back, and I only can blame myself because I chose to hang out with this person. I chose to affiliate with certain people. I chose to hang around the wrong crowd. I chose to listen to people tell me, you can't be a motivational speaker. And here I am doing it. And only because I started surrounding myself with people that did believe in me and people that have my back and listen to people who really love you and say, hey, stop listening to everybody else. Everybody else will have your best interest at heart. You think they do, but if you if if your car was broke down, you think they're gonna come by and pick you up, which really happened to me. You think they're gonna give you a ride to work? And you're like, well, surely they will. I've always given them a ride. But when it happens, are they really there? And then you find out people hey, you need a ride to work? Wow. I didn't, I never thought you would be that one. And then you start to really see the true side of people. You're like, man, I actually, that's a very good person.
Mm.
But people are so quick to talk about them.
Mm.
And those same people talk about
Mm-hmm.
are probably some of the best people in the world that would do anything for you. And if you look at say bums on the street or homeless people, I wouldn't say bums because but homeless people who give more than people that have more,
Yep.
and they have so much less. You're like, well, why you give them
Because
this
they need it.
$20 I just gave you? And people, you really start to see that people are very selfish,
Oh yeah.
especially these days, and they really out for their own. If
But it's also how people raise their children too.
that's also true.
How you allow you, because what you allow a child to do, ooh, hello adult, that nobody wants to deal with. They grow up to be, they're unbearable now. They're gonna damn be unbearable. Nobody else wants to deal with your mess. Like, so at this point, we get to decide. We can decide who we want to show up as, what we want to do, how we want to live. Anything we want, we absolutely can have. And it's who you who do you want to be, right? Who do you want to be? And what do you want to believe? Do you want to believe that you can do absolutely? You want to learn how to fly a damn plane? You can learn how to fly a damn plane.
That's
Find a
right.
place, go fly the plane. But if you doubt yourself, I could never do that. You so right. You can't because you're not going to.
And with that, can you just add what you were talking about the other day about your reactions, like how you react
A
to
hundred percent. You have to. So when somebody does something, right? When somebody, one second, baby. When somebody does something to you, right? Your reaction to that is what causes the out. What is it?
you better answer that, boy. But
Bring it. Um, it's 100% reaction, right? So we all play a part in how things fall out. So somebody says something to you, and you react in a certain way. You now entice or you entertain. So somebody tells you you look crazy. How do you react to that, right? What do you say to them? Are you allowing them? If you know you're not crazy, if you know you're not crazy, do you react? Everything. We need to be 100% accountable. Do you see that? Do you see that? How are you reacting to what's going down? So start paying attention to how you react to things. Everything doesn't need a response. Everything absolutely does not need a response. You do not have, if somebody says something to you, walk away. Like, my biggest thing is, if you know it ain't true, why are you defending yourself? Why?
yeah, or you can go off. You can even say change the subject, which I find myself saying. when the conversation is going to a place that I really don't want it to go to because I know it could create a heated conversation, I'll just change the subject. But if I say something I know that I offend them, or they say something to offend me, I don't. I used to have a quick reaction. I'm like, oh, bang, there it is. Now I stop and think. I said, I understand your point. And I'm not here to have a discussion, a heated discussion about it because it's really not worth it. It's really how we think about it. And even though, which I used to think that the way I think is the way most people would think, meaning that uh, everyone knows the truth, everyone knows the right thing to do, or everyone knows how to get a college degree. Which I've had the discussion a lot of times with people. I'm like, no, you can't say that. Well, they had just as much opportunity as I had.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but here it is. If I grew up, like you were saying earlier, if I grew up in a certain neighborhood and we had certain types of schools and we never got to expose ourselves anywhere else but in that tight, small
Yeah.
community, that's my whole surrounding. That's everything I know.
You're limited.
Yeah,
Limited.
you're limited. And I don't want to keep bringing up Steve Harvey or someone that they talk about, well, why do you talk like this? You need to learn how to speak better. And he says, my mother taught me how to talk like this. My grandmother taught me how to talk like this. This is how I talk. Why are you trying to change who I am? And the person, and he says to them, he said, I know. He says to them, he said, well, how much money do you make the way you talk? And let me tell you how much money I make the way I talk.
Yeah.
Now, who making more money? More money, And it's like,
So my face was because this is what I preached to him from day one, right?
back in
But
1980.
but
Go
he
ahead.
he gonna bring up Steve Harvey and them.
I only bring up Steve Harvey because he puts it a real story with it. You told me all this stuff before. It's not
But
about me and you now. Hold on, it's not about me and you. It's not about me and you. I just listened to it. Hold on, let's not go there, babe. You told me a lot of these
I'm
things.
just stating that the same thing from day one, right? I've been telling you this, and every comment or response that he says people have is the same thing that he stated to me, right?
Yes,
And I'm
it
big
is.
on. I'm gonna tell y'all
It was my way of thinking, though. It was my
before the
strategy at
me
the time.
before, right? Because there's two of me before and me now, right? The
Yes.
me before. Oh, I'm snapping because I'm like, I just
Woo, quick,
told you, like I just
quick.
told you that, like
Yes.
the me now. What? Oh my God, boo, preach! Because I just did it today.
You
Preach,
sure did.
boo!
You did
Because
not.
I'm gonna tell y'all the energy that it takes to be negative or respond to somebody and the crap they say out their face is more than just being like,
But so even by you doing that, yes, and even by you doing that, it made me feel better. For one, I knew what you were talking about. Like I know, I know, but I'm just now getting it. It's like reading a book, and we have talked about it. It's like
yeah,
reading a book the first time. You may not catch everything. You read a verse in the Bible. To me, initially, I thought it meant just one thing, and after we talk about it, you're like, oh,
yes.
that actually means something else. And then you read it 3 or 4 times,
Confirmation,
you're
right?
like,
Is that what it's called? Confirmation.
yes, confirmation. Like, oh, now I didn't get. Well, you didn't put it that way. You're like, what do you mean I didn't put it that way? And you say exact same way you said it. I said this 2 years ago, 6 months ago, three. But I truly didn't understand because I wasn't ready to receive it
And that
in a
is,
way.
and that's why I say the energy, right? So the event, the response, the outcome, it all plays a part in what. So if I continue to get mad about the same crap over and over again, I'm drained because now I'm giving the negativity the power instead of being positive and having a better outcome because Captain Extra over here is Lord.
You know, I like to meet Captain Extra.
Lord, y'all.
Basically, he
Yes,
sounds like
the
a
the
guy
energy
with a
it
good
takes.
head on his shoulders.
Oh, the energy it takes to deal with everything. Everything is energy. Everything is
I
energy.
love energy.
And the amount you put into it is what plays a part. I don't gotta listen. I still gotta deal with these kids. I need all my baby energy. Like I need it all. I cannot invest more time in trying to stop my feet like I told you that about 5 times. It don't matter. You right, boo.
Yeah, and I called it. I was like, you, I know you told me, but I wasn't ready to receive it in a way that I could understand it. You
Implement
know
it.
that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I now get it. Uh, I truly get it now. And
So,
a lot of times we get defensive when we shouldn't
mhm,
get defensive because at the end, if they're talking to you and you know that there's someone important in your life, they have to be saying it out of love, I would think, than to really trying to hurt you. And oftentimes I say, I, nothing that I say that comes out of my mouth that I have ran across in most of my life, at least my adulthood lifetime, I've never said anything to try to hurt someone. If I was to say it and I've hurt, or what, what, why are you looking like this? I hope RJ is there or something. But but when I said it, I didn't mean to cause harm, but I also didn't think about how I would take it if someone was to tell it to me. And that's when you flip the script, and then they're like, well, why are you talking to me that way? I don't understand. You're like, oh, that's the same way you talk to me. Because you got loud, I end up getting a little louder. You take it another notch, and here I am. I'm taking it to 100. I'm like,
yep.
wait, wait, and like, and then no matter who it is, you're both mad. You walk away. Most of the time, the man forgets even what the discussion was about. And yeah,
My
that's
eye is twitching.
I know your eye is twitching. And I didn't want to go through the talk about this in the episode, but I know what people go through in life based off of all the conversation that we both have had in our past. Um, and it's a lack of communication, it's a lack of respect, and it's a lack of um, you name it. Which we all try to apologize later, but once you put them holes in the fence and you take the nails out, hey, it's hard
So,
to patch them up.
but here's the deal.
Oh, here we go.
When we
I need to go get some water. I'll be.
you
No,
be
I'm
back,
listening.
you be
No, no,
back.
please go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
So
listening.
it comes to a point when you beat the dead horse, right? Because the damn horse is dead. But the issue with communicating in situations is when you don't solve an issue or you think you can create a different situation from something, it creates more of a problem. So the communication part of it is it has to be an understanding, right? So we communicate and we say this is that, this is this. Today we good. In 2 weeks, because you feel you need to get your point across, we throwing back things that was already settled back then. So the communication part, yes, we can communicate 100%. But when something is settled or something is clear or somebody tells how they feel, stop trying to friggin' change them to see it your way because
Yes.
it becomes an issue, right? So I don't like something, I'm not doing it, right? I don't like it, I'm not doing it. But then you over here like, well, why you don't like it? Why you don't like it? Why can I not like it? Like, why am I saying communicate, right? Like, I don't like this. Please don't force me to do something that I have already said I don't like, I don't want. So the communication is
Come
about
on, man.
listening.
You have to try it though. I mean,
What?
I'm listening.
Listening. Listening. We're not listening.
Yes. I'm listening.
Communication is a part of listening, right? Somebody tells you honestly, truthfully what it is and how it is, but you always look for that little, like that little baby hole in the fence that was left there from before. You're trying to get in from there. Let's shine that light in from that hole, and it's closed. That side is you see the hole open, but I didn't patch my side up. I ain't got no damn holes in my fence. We didn't use some good stuff to close it up. Yeah, I don't got none. So at this point, the communication part of it is listening. Like you have to be willing to listen and understand that sometimes it ain't about you. It ain't.
That's right.
It's not about you. It's about that how that individual is feeling at that time, right? Because like they always say, you never know what somebody's going through, right? So when somebody snaps at your reaction, your response becomes this big blow up because that person literally something happened really bad and they mentally wasn't there, right? But
Yes.
event, response, outcome. How are you contributing to that situation?
That's right. And going back to what you said, as far as having, uh, you have to address the problem when there's a problem. And even though we don't like conflict, you have to you have to have it in order to prevent further conflicts
Well,
later.
you really don't have to have a conflict. It's about
Initially, no, but you have to face it. If there's
yeah,
one, you need
that's
to
the
face it.
confrontation, right? I don't like
Yeah,
confrontation, but you
yeah,
confrontate with everybody else, but you don't want to have a confrontation with specific people. But this is communication ends up turning bad when you get defensive. You take the situation as it's you. Like somebody say something, you automatically get defensive, get mad. Like what you mad for? Like I want to talk about you. But that shows where you're limited at, where you're capable of going because you just nobody ain't talk about you. It's like take accountability for the crap that you bring, and that's right. That is right there. Take accountability for the part you played in the situation.
yes.
Sometimes
It's
we could
part,
do. Sometimes we could have reacted better, reacted differently. We can't. But what's the outcome? Where we at?
and with that, don't we tend to point the blame at you, whoever it is. Well, you did this or you did that, but what part did I play?
Own it.
And
Own
what
it.
did I not say, or what could I have done better? And you go in and say, hey, I am sorry, I should have done this. Not, hey, I'm sorry, I should have done this, but you should have done this, or you didn't do this. Well, how about I'm sorry, I should have told you. I'm sorry, I should have told you that I was planning to go running at 8 o'clock in the morning, or I should have told you that I was still using whatever, and you decided to pick it up and take it somewhere else. Um, I think when people start to see not what you've done, but what did I do, and what can I do to fix it next time, because it is not about well you tripped me and then I'm gonna trip you back, or you slap me I'm gonna slap you back. Oh, you slap me, you know what? I'm not gonna return a slap. I know that either one, we need to talk this out, two, or I need to pack my bags and move out, or three, just think about what can I do to make my life better because I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of going through this every single day and it's not getting any better. And then once you work on yourself and try to get yourself right, because it's hard to take care of someone else if you can't take care of yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to be mentally and physically healthy in order to even tackle some of these conversations. Or because when we've had discussion, like, hold on, work on you first. Don't change who you are to try to please me. Change yourself based off of what you want to be. Now it could be like, now maybe I might not like that person, but obviously I like that person sometime in my life, and let's just work on you, because we all know that as the years go by, we sometimes we just grow apart, and or we can grow even closer because life changes, things people come into your life, kids come into your life. It creates a new, a whole new environment for you that you're not used to. And now it's like I had this conversation just the other day with my own brothers. Like, man, what are you doing when your kids leave the house? It's like, who are you? You see a lot of people getting divorced, like because everything you did was revolved around your kids. But did you stop and think about who who you truly love and you want this relationship to last? Not I want it to last because of my kids. And I know I've taken a full, not even a circle. I went around the corner and down the street, and now I'm at somebody else's house talking about another conversation. But these are the things that's on my mind based off of what even we talked about here recently, and it's still on my mind because I've learned from it. I've often watched people that have these conversations, and I'm thinking, man, you sound a lot like this person, or even a lot like me, how I used to think. And I'm sure you don't even realize that you, you can make the situation a lot better if you stop putting being very you can be selfish in a relationship because now you think that everything revolves around you. Well, she didn't cook for me, she didn't clean for me. I'm working. I told this guy, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, first of all, this person came to see you, and yet you choose to continue to do what you wanted to do when they went out of their way. Man, it sounds like a previous experience that I even had. But and this is here recently. I'm like, that you ever thought about that though? And after we have a conversation, he's like, I never thought about that. And it's not in a negative way. It's just sometimes people don't think about it because they're not around that environment to have that positive, just positive energy, positive conversations, and not just, oh, dude, what she said, man. You should be able to do what you want. You're the man, and you're like, whoa, is were you like that when you were dating? Probably not. But I'm gonna let you speak because I just hope that the people listening, that what we have to say, the younger generation will learn from it, or younger couples will learn from it, because we both know, you and I, based on our military career and our time together and being apart all those times, and then coming together and trying to make it work, and the extra baggage coming into a relationship. We've been through a lot that there are so many people going through it, even with people thinking about having suicidal thoughts or don't know their purpose in life or overweight, and they talk about, I don't know how to get better. I don't know how to lose weight. I don't know what to do. And that's the things that we both experience. And for people to just stop and listen and not say, well, that's not true or that's hard to believe. Just listen. Just do it. Just write your vision down. Just drink more water every day, because when you drink 2 glasses of water, when you think you're hungry, you're probably going to realize it's going to fill you up. Even if you're really hungry, like, man, I'm so hungry. I need to eat half of a pizza today. Just drink, drink 3 or 4 of these right here. Just 3 or 4. I promise you, your belly's gonna be full of water. You'll feel like you're waterlogged, and it's gonna hold you over until you get to your meal, or you may just only eat a snack. For one, it's healthy for you, and your body's gonna feel good because what you really wanted was that Kool Aid, that Gatorade,
I
that
cannot.
sugar water,
I'm
that
about to cut
orange
you
juice.
off. What
Yeah,
are you doing?
I'm on a roll here because this happened to me. That's how I know.
Well,
And when
hey,
did it happen to me?
preach, boo, preach.
I'm telling you, I'm preaching because it's so true. And you like, and you wonder why you're complaining about these things, and you haven't tried none of this. And obviously, you didn't write it down. So I know I've learned. I've learned a lot. Even because of the place that I've been in my life, I thought I knew so much, and no one could tell me much of a difference. But don't let that pride get in your way,
Yeah.
because there's always somebody down there that's gonna break you off and make you look bad. They ain't got. They can be right there with you. They'll still break you off. You never even knew they were there to break you off. I'm telling you, just I'm gonna drink some water. I'm so thirsty.
Well, with that,
Yes, with that.
we're gonna drink his water. We're gonna end here.
Yeah.
We're gonna come
Hey,
back the week after next and see what comes up for us, what we
yeah.
live our life as. You guys
I'm
have
ready. I got my notes ready this time.
all right. Do it big.
I'm gonna start thinking about what we're talking about in the next 2 weeks, and I'm gonna start
Have his
writing
notes,
it
guys.
down.
Be
Then
ready.
I'm gonna take the lessons learned from this episode, and I'm gonna start writing that down too.
Okay.
Listen to your spouse. Listen to the people important. Surround yourself in a healthy and positive environment. Control your response because your reactions mean so much more. You need to just write this stuff down. When you write this stuff down, you need to read it every day because if you want to get better, it needs to be like a Bible. If you really want to go to heaven and this and that, you read your Bible, pray every day. You would grow, grow, grow. Hey,
Lord.
you write your vision down and you read it every day. I'm telling you, everything you want, you can have. I
Yep.
promise you. I promise you. If you know celebrities, if you talk to celebrities, you know. But if you,
I'm about to get you. I'm about to
hey,
end you.
all right, I'm done. I
For
appreciate you
sure.
having me on today. I just want to give you much love and respect.
Have a great night, everyone. Goodbye.
All right.